The Janabi family murder is a heart-wrenching and gruesome case that took place in Iraq during the turbulent times of the Iraq War. This horrifying event is not only a stark reminder of the atrocities committed during conflicts, but also highlights the personal vendettas and revenge that often escalate into brutal acts of violence. The murder of the Janabi family sent shockwaves through Iraq and the international community, bringing to light the profound impact of war on innocent civilians. The setting: Mahmudiyah, Iraq. The Janabi family lived in the small rural village of Yusufiyah, near the town of Mahmudiyah, located in the Triangle of Death south of Baghdad. This region was notorious for its high levels of insurgency and sectarian violence during the Iraq War. The family, like many others, was caught in a crossfire of conflict that brought fear and uncertainty to their daily lives. The victims. The Janabi family consisted of 5 members: Qassim Hamza Rahim Janabi, his wife Fakriya Taham Musin, and their 3 children, including 14-year-old Abeer Qassim Hamza al-Janabi. The family lived a modest life, with Abeer being described as a bright and hopeful young girl. Tragically, their lives would be cut short in an unimaginably brutal manner. The perpetrators. The crime was perpetrated by 5 U.S. Army soldiers from the 101st Airborne Division: Private First Class Stephen D. Green, Specialist James P. Barker, Private First Class Jessica V. Spielman, Private First Class Brian L. Howard, and Sergeant Paul E. Cortez. These soldiers were stationed in the Mahmudiyah area, tasked with maintaining security and combating insurgency. However, the stress and horrors of war had taken a toll on these men. The soldiers, particularly Stephen Green, had become desensitized and morally corrupted by the violence and chaos surrounding them. This desensitization, combined with deep-seated prejudices and a desire for revenge, led to the catastrophic decision to target the Janabi family. The crime. On March 12, 2006, the soldiers devised a plan to attack the Janabi family home. They had previously observed the family and knew the layout of their house. That fateful day, they changed out of their military uniforms and dressed in civilian clothes to avoid suspicion. Under the cover of darkness, the soldiers approached the Janabi household. They entered the home forcibly, immediately killing Qassim Hamza Rahim Janabi and his wife Fakriya. The brutality did not stop there. The soldiers then turned their attention to Abeer, who they had previously identified as a target due to her appearance. In a heinous act of violence, Abeer was raped by Stephen Green while the other soldiers stood by. After the assault, Green shot and killed her to eliminate any witnesses. The soldiers then set fire to the house in an attempt to cover up their crimes, hoping the fire would destroy any evidence of their horrific acts. The aftermath and investigation. The murders initially appeared to be the result of insurgent activity, as such attacks were common in the area. However, suspicions arose due to the nature of the crime and the inconsistencies in the soldiers' accounts. An investigation was launched by the U.S. military, which quickly uncovered the involvement of the 5 soldiers. Specialist Justin Watt, a fellow soldier, reported hearing details of the crime from other members of the unit. His whistleblowing led to a formal investigation by the Army's Criminal Investigation Command. The evidence collected, including confessions from some of the soldiers, painted a grim picture of premeditated murder and rape. Trials and sentencing. The soldiers were charged with various crimes, including murder, rape, and obstruction of justice. Stephen D. Green, who had been discharged from the Army before the investigation concluded, was tried in a civilian court. He was found guilty on all charges and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Green's trial highlighted the severe psychological damage and moral decay that can occur in war zones. The other soldiers were court-martialed and received varying sentences. Sergeant Paul E. Cortez was sentenced to 100 years in prison. Specialist James P. Barker received 90 years. Private First Class Jessica V. Spielman was sentenced to 110 years, and Private First Class Brian L. Howard received a lesser sentence of 27 months for his role in the conspiracy. Impact and legacy. The Janabi family murder had a profound impact on both the Iraqi and American communities. In Iraq, it fueled anti-American sentiment and further deteriorated the relationship between U.S. forces and Iraqi civilians. The crime exemplified the extreme consequences of war and the moral breakdown that can occur among soldiers facing relentless violence and stress. For the American military, the case was a severe blow to its reputation. It highlighted the need for better psychological support and stricter oversight of troops in combat zones. The military implemented changes to address these issues, including improved mental health services and more stringent measures to prevent and address misconduct. The tragedy also brought to light the importance of accountability and justice. The successful prosecution of the perpetrators demonstrated that such crimes would not be tolerated, regardless of the circumstances. It was a message that upheld the rule of law and the principles of justice, even in the most challenging environments. Reflection on the human cost of war. The murder of the Janabi family is a stark reminder of the human cost of war. It underscores the devastating impact that conflict can have on innocent civilians and the psychological toll it takes on soldiers. The case exemplifies the moral complexities and the potential for inhumanity that can arise in the fog of war. For the Janabi family, the tragedy was an unspeakable loss. Their lives were brutally cut short, and their deaths left a void that could never be filled. Abeer, in particular, was a symbol of innocence and potential, her life ending in an act of unimaginable cruelty. Continuing impact and lessons learned. The Janabi family murder case continues to resonate as a powerful example of the dark side of human nature exacerbated by the stresses of war. It serves as a cautionary tale about the psychological toll of combat and the importance of moral and ethical leadership within military ranks. The psychological toll of war. One of the critical lessons from this tragic incident is the profound psychological impact war can have on soldiers. Prolonged exposure to violence, fear, and moral ambiguity can lead to severe mental health issues, including post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and desensitization to violence. The actions of the soldiers involved in the Janabi family murder underscore the necessity for comprehensive mental health support and monitoring for military personnel, both during and after their deployment. The role of leadership and ethics. The Janabi case also highlights the crucial role of leadership and ethical training within the military. Effective leadership can mitigate the adverse effects of combat stress and ensure that soldiers adhere to the rules of engagement and uphold human rights. The breakdown in discipline and morality among the soldiers involved points to a failure in leadership and underscores the need for continuous ethical training and oversight. Accountability and justice. The successful prosecution of the perpetrators of the Janabi family murder is a testament to the importance of accountability and the rule of law, even in the context of war. It reinforces the principle that individuals, regardless of their status or circumstances, must be held accountable for their actions. This case set a precedent for handling war crimes and ensured that justice was served, providing a measure of closure for the victims' families and the broader community. Efforts to prevent future atrocities. In response to the Janabi family murder and similar incidents, the U.S. military and other armed forces worldwide have taken steps to prevent such atrocities in the future. These measures include. That's all for today's video. If you found this video informative and want to hear more true crime stories, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Click the bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. Thanks for watching, and remember to stay informed and stay compassionate. Until next time, take care.